We are wrapping up part one. It is being processed right now by the computer. It's about 65% done with the processing. I'm going to have to go and pay my tuition for the fall semester, so there's going to be a chunk of time that will not be recorded. Dun dun dun. But don't worry, this is the beginning of part two, so we should have the interview finishing off with Marcy. Yeah, we'll finish off Marcy's interview. We'll have brand new adventures and excitement galore. So have fun, enjoy, and welcome to part two. You know what time it is. It's food time. Bum, 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 bum. Today on our menu is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So if you have some peanut butter, some jam, and some bread at home, why not crack them open and have a nice delicious sandwich? And if you're allergic to any of those ingredients, then you can have something else that you enjoy. Enjoy your eating. After my dinner, I was chilling out reclining on this couch when suddenly the whole side of the couch kind of like fell from under me. And I was like, what's going on? So when I got up from off the couch, it seemed like it corrected itself. But when you get back on the couch, it would mess up again. So when it first messed up, I thought that like an arm had broken. So I checked to make sure that the couch had correct feet. And I realized, oh, this is kind of like built like a rocking chair, but not entirely. Where the feet are shaped like that. And there's a bar that goes across the bottom, so it's not like a traditional foot. And it did not break, but rather on this side, the pegs, which, let me see if I can get them in the shot. Right here, there are pegs in this crack that fit into this piece of the wood. And over there, it's completely sealed. But over here, the pegs are still visible and loose. So if you chill on the couch, and I was like reclining to where most of my weight was on this side, the side that's not messed up. So I guess I shifted while I was laying down, and then these pegs essentially came out of this part, which is why this side of the couch fell. So just for future reference, always check this before you sit, and you gotta manually try and get the pegs back in the wood. I have the pegs now back in the right place, but not pushed all the way in, so it's possible that it could fall over again. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that one. So I watch Dashy on YouTube. He's one of the YouTube gamers that I really watch a lot. And in the comment section of his recent Geometry Dash gameplay, there's a comment from this girl named Gianna Rosie or whatever, and she's in a ton of like Dashy's comments. Like she always likes to comment. She's a huge Dashy fan. So I was like, crap, she pops up so much. I wonder what she does. Maybe she also makes gaming videos. So I check out her YouTube channel, and she has this video called "I'm Not Fake." So I was like, okay. That's a weird thing to title a video. So I look at the video, and in the comment section, it is just hilarious. I'm legit. Dolan Duck posts in the comment section. He's another YouTube celebrity. I just think he's like the mascot for Danger Dolan. Or I think that's what Danger Dolan might call his channel, is Dolan Duck. Maybe he has multiple channels? I don't know. Maybe he's just like an imposter. Maybe that's not even Danger Dolan. I don't know, I just thought it was weird that I saw that. That was weird. But the comment sections are really funny, and the only reason why I say that is because if you've ever watched a Dashy video, he has a certain kind of humor, especially his Dashy XP cartoons. And the comment sections have, for her video talking about how she's not fake, has essentially become a Dashy video. So the same scripting style of a Dashy video is the same type of comedy as this comment. So I love it. I love this so much. The the video is amazing. Her name is Gianna Rosie. So it's Giannarossi. It's spelled kind of off to me. Hold up. Okay, Gianna. So like Gianna, Gianna, and then the Rosie part is Rossi. But the comments for her video about how she's not fake are hilarious. I definitely would recommend that. I'm still reading them. This is awesome. Whenever I'm in the stairwell, it kind of smells like bug spray, and then I realized that bug spray kind of smells sweet, and it made me reevaluate how I thought about sweet, because the smell of sweet does not necessarily mean ooh tasty delicious. Something can smell sweet and still smell bad, like bug spray, if that makes sense. Speaking of the stairwell, let me give you a quick tour. I'm not sure if you can see in this corner, especially since, you know, spider webs are thin, but this whole area is just spider webs over here. And then down here, you know, there are dead bugs. You got this cricket that's dead. You got that other cricket that's dead. I can't see if you can see it or not. There's a dead roach. There's another dead roach. There's a dead roach that's now body parts in the corner. So yeah, we got a lot of dead insects in here. Ooh, there's another dead roach that's kind of like blending into the floor. There's some living ants eating on that, I guess, recently dead roach. So there are a lot of bugs here. I'm not sure if I've shown you any of them because this is like a laptop webcam, so I can't tell what you have seen. So maybe I pointed the camera at the floor. Maybe I pointed it almost at the floor. I guess we're about to find out. But yeah, there are a lot of bugs in the stairwell. I've only really seen like an earwig, like in the actual building, like in the hallways, like where I am now. But the stairwell is where you'll mainly see like most of the dead insects. I was here chilling on the couch in the lobby, and the elevator across from me just kind of opens, and nobody comes out, and then it closed again. Weird. Here it is again. I got you this time. It's elevator number 2. Keeps coming down to the first floor, closing, and then leaving. I don't know why. So, now I'm relaxing in the lounge. I'm going to wait for the second elevator to come back down by itself again. See if I can catch it on film. I've caught it closing, but not it opening, which is the important part. So, I'll see what I can do. So, the elevator came down again and opened its door for no reason. So, I can't seem to catch it on film because I don't know the exact time in between when the elevator decides it wants to open and when it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is, well, I've already done it. I went into the elevator, and now, as you can see on these buttons, no destination has been pressed. So now, while this elevator, which essentially should not move, or open, or do anything, I'm going to wait inside of the elevator, see if it decides to go anywhere, and see if it opens its doors. And then, once it opens its doors, I'll be able to walk out of the elevator, show that no one called the elevator, and then show that this elevator has some odd malfunction. So, that's the plan. Okay, so now what the elevator is doing is you can hear this little clicking noise, and you can see the door shift to the side like it wants to open. And now it's opening. Okay. So the door's opened, you come out, nobody's called this elevator. So the elevator sits here, it doesn't go anywhere, but it just randomly opens, just like when it wants to. Weird. So yeah, this elevator needs to be inspected. Let me re-enter elevator number 2 and see when the expiration date ended. As expected, the elevator is automatically here because it's not going anywhere. No one's using it. It's just using itself. Let's see. It was inspected May, June 19th, 2014, and it expired June 19th, 2015. So this definitely needs to be inspected again. Due to lack of inspection, the elevator now does this for some reason. I can hear the click even now. Yeah, and I can see the door twitch. You hear the click, and then the door moves ever so slightly. Then it does so many clicks, and then the door opens itself. Weird. I wonder if that click is actually audible on camera. Well, it looks like we solved the mystery of the weird elevator. It's just past its expiration date and doing some funky stuff. I hope the elevator doesn't get any worse. To Nickabenson's vlog for August 12th, 2015. Let's hit up our top stories for today. Today is Hannah Berry's and Nick Irvin's birthday, so happy birthday to both of you. Let's see. Oh, just got a message over Facebook, probably from my friend Nick Bolas, who is moving down from St. Louis into the honors dorm at UAH. So I'm going to help him move in today. This morning I got to go to the cafe at the conference training center, and they have a buffet style cafe, which I already knew because you get to eat there for orientation. But what I did not know is that they have a grill where you can request to have certain items made for you, including omelets, waffles, and pancakes with two different types of batter, regular and chocolate chip, with syrup provided as well. Very interesting array. And the cafe where you're actually able to order things is probably my favorite part of the buffet breakfast experience. That and the drink fountain, which has a wide selection of sodas, including root beer, which I'm glad for. The only thing that I think would really add to it would probably be Hiracha. In other news, on Fiverr, I'm going to keep the person's name anonymous, there has been a buyer request where someone is requesting for someone on Fiverr to supply a specific service. This specific service being to abort a baby using psychic abilities. This was rather disturbing. I'll leave the rest of that to you. If you want to actually investigate what I'm describing, you can go to Fiverr and check that out for yourself. It's under buyer request. I believe buyer request is either something that you can openly see or it's something you can only see if you're a seller, which becoming a seller is easy. Fiverr accounts are free. So if you would like to see what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure that's still up, and they currently have like 8 offers from people. So 8 offers of people who claim to have psychic abilities to abort the child, which is rather odd. Anyways, there will be more videos coming up. Sorry that part 1 for the previous day, August 11th, is incomplete because part 2 isn't out yet, but that's what this video will be. It will be part 2 of yesterday and part 1 of today put together, so that'll be all put together soon. Anyways, there's more to come, so stay tuned. Boy has a video called Cinnamon Toast Crunch Crackhead, or maybe it just is called Cinnamon Toast Crackhead. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure if you type in Cinnamon Toast Crackhead, there are only so many things that'll pop up, so I'm sure you'll find it. But it only has 160 views on YouTube, but it is rather funny to be an unscripted situation. It's essentially this guy arguing with this woman about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So I feel like it's worth watching. I got a good laugh out of it. If you like ghetto humor, it's really good. So I recommend you check it out. Anyways, there's more to come, so stay tuned. The Wi-Fi here is not horrible. It's acceptable. The only problem is occasionally it'll knock you out of the Wi-Fi so you can log back in. You know, I'm okay with that. That's fine too. The problem that I have is that I'm always watching something and it'll get to the best part of whatever I'm watching and then the Wi-Fi will kick me out and I'll have to log back in. And I guess that's the part that I'm the most disappointed about. Why is it always when I really need it is when I won't have access to it? in my old building, I had a lot of bad experiences with the Wi-Fi. Not just with it having you have to log back in, but there was a time when I didn't have Wi-Fi at all for my laptop, but it worked for my tablet. So I called tech support, and tech support told me that my building didn't have Wi-Fi, which obviously made no sense. If my tablet had Wi-Fi, clearly the building had Wi-Fi. So I told the assistant dean about it, and he just kind of laughed. He was like, "What? Like all the buildings have Wi-Fi?" So, it didn't make any sense. My laptop obviously was able to eventually connect to the Wi-Fi, but it's weird that I still do have a few issues with the Wi-Fi. I'm just glad it's not as bad as before. When I called tech support and they told me my building didn't have Wi-Fi though, that was actually a pretty interesting scenario because when I was talking to them, they put me on hold multiple times, and then they said, "Yeah, your building is on a list of buildings that don't have Wi-Fi." And then they called off the list of buildings that don't have Wi-Fi, and every building that they named had Wi-Fi. So I don't understand that. That was weird. And the only reason why I was calling tech support in the first place to get Wi-Fi for my laptop is, and this is something I need to stop doing. I need to stop finishing my work and then not immediately submitting it, because I can submit work online now. It's not like it's hard. But what ended up happening was on my Chromebook, I use Google Docs to complete my work, which means my work is saved over the internet and not directly onto my laptop. So it was getting near time where I needed to turn in an assignment, but I had no access to my assignment because I couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. So that sucked. I was able to retype up part of the assignment using a friend's computer and then send it off because I had a version on my laptop. It was just incomplete. The fully saved version was over the Wi-Fi, so that was kind of a bummer. But I was able to make it work. But Wi-Fi problems are kind of like a steady thing that I'm currently working with. Now that I'm eating at the cafe, I want to talk to you guys about the Bevel Center. The Bevel Center is a hotel that's on campus where during the Fast Start program or the summer mini-mester, we ate at. Now, me and my friends Lydia and Jordan would eat at the Bevel Center on the daily because we got to eat there for free. So why not eat there every day? But I noticed a lot of other Fast Start students would go out to eat more or they brought their own food, so they only occasionally would go to the Bevel Center. So when me, Jordan, or Lydia ever complained about something that happened at the Bevel Center, everybody would be like, "Man, you guys are really hard on the Bevel Center," But we're not just dogging on the Bevel Center just to do it. There's no reason to just like talk about a place just to talk about a place. It's just that we had certain gripes about the Bevel Center that other people didn't encounter because they didn't eat there that much. Like, we would eat there literally every day, but you could go up to the desk and they'll swipe your card and they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, your card doesn't work." And then it's like, I'm on meal plan, and then they swipe it and it's like, "Oh, your meal plan, you're good." And it's like, "I saw you an hour ago." Like, when you eat there all the time and you see the same people all the time, it's weird when they don't remember you. Like, they don't remember how to do that like really simple thing as just swiping your card. And then another big problem that we had was getting drinks. So at the Bevel Center, you can get your own juice, tea, lemonade, but if you want a soft drink, you need to wait for them to come to your table and take your drink order. And normally, when you sit down, they just come up and they take your drink order and then they go get your drink. But the biggest problem that we had was that sometimes we would go in there and they would never come take your drink order. Now, when we told our fellow classmates that, they were like, "Well, other people go to the Bevel Center, they're probably overwhelmed with other orders for drinks that maybe they just don't notice or they like forget about your table or something." But that is because the other students were used to going to the Bevel Center at lunch. And at lunch, there are a lot of people who show up. But for breakfast and for dinner, there are not a lot of people who go to the Bevel Center, at least not during the summer. Breakfast especially, because it's so early in the morning, not a lot of people want to get up for their breakfast time. And then for dinner, unless they have a big menu item like Mexican buffet or sushi buffet, then you're not going to have a big turnout. So I could sit in the Bevel Center restaurant practically by myself and never get a drink. And that was kind of crappy. Um, let's see, once my friends drove to the Bevel Center, but I would always walk because you actually will beat someone in a car all the time if you're trying to figure out which route to go on. It's better to just walk. You'll get there way faster than someone by car. So I walked in through the side entrance and I saw two of the people working at the counter talking to each other. And they're like, yes, like only one person is showing up. And then my friend showed up like moments later, and I could see them go like, oh, like there's more people. And it's like, why would you be upset to have to serve more people? And a big thing that we would complain about is that they're not cooking the food. You know, it's a buffet. The food is already laid out. So it's not like they have to come up to each individual group of people and say like, "Oh, what do you want to eat?" and then they have to like go out and bring it to you or anything. No, it's like you get your own plate, you put your own food on it, you sit down, and all they really have to do is swipe your card and get you a drink. And then they also will take your dishes for you, which is just like a courtesy. Like they could have set it up where you didn't have to do that. I guess the biggest reason why we don't like the whole drink thing is that when you go to other buffets, soft drinks are self-serve, and when you go to the cafe, soft drinks are self-serve. So why is it that we can get our own drinks at the cafe, but we can't get our own drinks at the Bevel Center when it's about the same thing? Let's see. But not everything about the Bevel Center is bad, though. Sean and Marquez are two of the servers at the Bevel Center that really stand out. If you talk to Sean, you can get a sunset, which is cranberry juice, orange juice, and Sprite mixed together, and it looks like a setting sun, and it's really nice. And it's delicious too, especially when it's made right. When it looks the best, it tastes the best. That's the rule of thumb for a sunset. You can also get a volcano, which is Powerade fruit punch mixed with Coke Zero, and that may not sound very good, but it depends on how you drink it. When the layers begin to blend together, it's better, but don't mix it ahead of time. That ruins it, if that makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to have them pour them, because you can't make it yourself because it's two soft drinks put together. So this is one of those situations where you have to have them come to your table and take your drink order, but tell them not to mix it. And what you'll have is what looks like a volcano. It'll have the darker color, the Coke Zero at the top, and then the Powerade at the bottom. And then you pull the Powerade up from the bottom, and it'll start to blend the two together. And it tastes the best once the Coke Zero kind of overpowers the Powerade. And by that time, the color effect kind of goes away. But having the color effect is really nice, and then the great taste of them mixed together near the end of the drink is really nice too. So it all works out in the end. I really like that. So Sean was good about knowing what you wanted to drink ahead of time and being able to bring it to you, and Marquez was really nice with service. The main discrepancies we had is we just didn't enjoy the fact that the servers seemed like they didn't want to serve you. Like, what's the difference? Oh, and upper management we thought was really stupid. So, at the Bevel Center, you can eat outside of the main restaurant and watch the television that they have set up. And we would do that for every meal because why not? Because it's open for people to use it. So we would sit out and we would watch the television. But then one day I came in for breakfast and one of the waiters said, "Oh, well, upper management says that you can only do that for lunch. Sorry, guys." And then the waiter leaves. But then we looked out there and we noticed no one else was sitting out there, but all the tables were set with utensils like you're supposed to sit there, but no one was sitting there. And we were like, why are they wasting all of that seating space? for no reason. So we're like, fine, we'll only do it during lunch. But then we ran into this thing where we were all sitting together during lunch in the outside area, and we were watching television. And then while we were watching the television, a woman comes up and just kind of like changes the channel and then leaves. She just goes somewhere. She doesn't even watch it. But we had a table of 6 people, and she just like changes the channel on the TV and goes somewhere else. And we didn't understand that at all. So we thought that was kind of weird. But the Bevel Center was weird. It was just a different experience, I suppose. But some of the servers are really good, other servers are off, and upper management, as I don't understand what their strategy was for not using half of their seating. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about the Bevel Center real quick. The Fast Start program that I took for the summer mini-mester was a great experience. I loved being able to do the business simulations and being able to work with other students in groups and being able to find members of groups that you're easily able to work with and learning how to work with members that may not be on the same page with you, because once you finally get that group synergy, you're able to really work hard on a project and get a good cohesive whole that you're satisfied with. So I like the team building exercises and being able to work within an environment that felt like an actual business. There are a few parts of Fast Start that were kind of eh. For example, we had a day of service, which was described to us as a day where we would help out the community and volunteer. And we're completely okay with that. We were excited for the day of service. Um, there were a few things about the day of service that caught us off guard, though. For example, when we went to the downtown rescue mission, we found out that the day of service was described to the teacher who took us on it as, hey, you guys should give them a fun day where you guys go out and explore the city. So he took that and he said, I guess they should just go do community service work. And I thought that was odd, because community service work can definitely be fun, but I don't know. If I was in charge of a group of college students and I was told, take them out on the town and show them a good time, and then I took them to go do community service work, I probably wouldn't tell them that that wasn't what I was told to do. Because after he said that, that just took me for a loop. Like, what? That's what this was supposed to be? It's because you suddenly hit that moment where you're like, well, this isn't that. Like, it's not that this isn't fun. It's just like, I don't know, your judgment. Like, I just wouldn't have said it. It's kind of like if you were taken somewhere to, like, go help people, and then it's like, oh, cool, I'm glad that I'm here, I'm helping people out. And then someone said, yeah, I was supposed to give you $1 million, but whatever. And then they leave, and you're like, wait, what? I would have still come to help the people. You know, it's just, this isn't what you were told to do, essentially. So, I don't know. So I thought that was weird. The downtown rescue mission was great, though. I got to meet a lot of interesting people. I learned that it actually has a rehabilitation program where they take in homeless people and teach them how to become proper members of society and help them get back on their feet. So it wasn't just a homeless shelter, but it was actually a place where they could stay and learn additional skills and get back into the workforce, kind of thing. So that was really great. We went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I've never actually been to a Boys and Girls Club until we went for the day of service. So once we went to the Boys and Girls Club, my friend Jordan is from Nashville, Tennessee, and she has never seen the hood. So she's never been to a lower income projects area. So we're driving down, and we pass by the hood. And then me and Lydia, who have both lived around the hood before, are like, oh, hey, look, there's the hood. And Jordan's like, whoa, I've only seen this in movies. So we're looking around, you know, we see a few shady people, but you're kind of like looking from a distance. It's kind of like Jurassic World, the idea of like, you're looking at dinosaurs, but you're looking at them from like behind the glass. So there's no sense of, oh, I'm in the hood, I feel unsafe or anything like that. But then as we're looking at like these different homes and these different kind of shady characters. The bus that we're riding in, well, it's more like a van, but we keep calling them buses. The van that we were riding in turns into the hood, and we're like, whoa, hold up. Maybe we're just driving through the hood to get to the Boys and Girls Club. And then the van parked in the hood, and we were like, oh, okay. We're in the hood. And that's where the Boys and Girls Club is. So we're like, that's not that bad. So we're standing outside for a pretty long period of time. And we're kind of doing what we were doing in the van, looking at the different shady characters. Except now they're looking back. So there's this moment where we're like, hey, how's it going, guys? And I'm always looking out for like violent and non-violent crime. I didn't see any crime go down. There was one part that we thought was weird, where these two guys wearing red shirts, like all red clothes, and then like also like a red card, across the street from the Boys and Girls Club, were looking at us really, really hard. And I was like, why are they looking at us like that? And then we all looked down and we're wearing our UAH shirts, which are all like straight blue, and we're like, oh, this is a horrible idea. Who decided this? um, and I thought about how like we don't have Crips in like Rocket City, from what I can tell, but we do have Bloods, and it was like, oh no, no, this is not a good idea at all. So we end up going inside the Boys and Girls Club, and from what I had heard, it was like a community center, so kids can come down, they get to like play games, watch movies and stuff. But no, I learned it's more like school daycare kind of thing. So kids go down and they learn educational skills, and they're kind of taken care of, fed. They were given stuff to drink, and that was all nice. And I feel like it would have been nicer if we didn't get a speech right before we helped out with the Boys and Girls Club, because the speech kind of made me feel like, what? um, the head of the Boys and Girls Club there, he talked about how he's worked with Boys and Girls Clubs in the past, and he always works at the worst one in the community. He's the guy who's sent over to straighten them out. So he said, because I'm here, this one is essentially the worst one in the community. So good luck with that. And that made me go, wait, what? Like, this one is like the worst one in the area. It didn't seem that bad. It didn't seem that bad at all. But the guy seemed kind of hard on the kids. There's this one kid, and he was just like watching the Cat in the Hat, and then he was like, "Go do your work," and the kid was like, "Okay," and the kid like went to the kid didn't even like argue with him, but he said it like the kid was a really bad kid, and he was known for like not doing what he's supposed to do. So I didn't get it. He seemed like he was just minding his own business. So apparently we were at the worst Boys and Girls Club in the community. I didn't even know that was like a thing. But I actually did have fun working at the Boys and Girls Club. We mainly just cleaned up. I don't have any weird cleaning up story. Jordan and Lydia, they have a story about cleaning up at the Boys and Girls Club where they had to clean the windows. But there was this stuff that they said looked like crack that they were cleaning out of the window, and they didn't understand like what it was or where it came from, and they were like, we've cleaned windows before, and we've never seen this weird substance that looked kind of like drugs. I didn't get to see it myself. They told me after we left the Boys and Girls Club. But overall, the day of service was great. I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot more about different areas in the community. I've been to soup kitchens before, but never to a rehabilitation program to help homeless people get back on their feet. So I'll probably volunteer more at the Downtown Rescue Mission in the future, especially since it's not too far away from campus. The Boys and Girls Club, I'm not really sure how much we could actually help them with. When they told me it was an educational setup, I was like, oh, so we'll help read to the kids and help them out. But it seemed like they didn't really need help with that. The main thing they needed help with was actually cleaning. They had people to help them with the educational stuff. So there's nothing wrong with cleaning. It's just that I suppose I'd rather help them in a more direct way. So if I was to help with the Boys and Girls Club in the future, it would be actually working more with the kids. I think I probably prefer that a little bit more. And if I was to help with the Downtown Rescue Mission, um, I don't think I'm qualified to help with the rehabilitation program, but that was the part that I actually thought was the coolest. I'd probably try and help them out with their soup kitchen. I'd probably help serve meals. So that's definitely something for me to think about in the future. I just wanted to share a few more interesting stories about my experience at Fast Start. Oh, also on the day of service, we went to Golden Corral, where I got to try Koracha for the first time. And if you haven't had Koracha, it tastes like a milkshake, but it's the consistency of milk, and it is delicious. Golden Corral has pancakes on the buffet, and they're pretty great, but they're even better if you dip them in Koracha. I'm just saying, Koracha's amazing. Oh, and Koracha and root beer mixed together makes a very interesting root beer float that keeps the consistency of a drink the whole time. It is delicious. Also, don't put ice in Koracha. I don't understand the point of putting ice in Koracha. Anyways, there's more to come, so stay tuned.